Hello. Hello, hello.
What? Oh, they couldn't hear me. Are we?
Start over.
Are we back? Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of CLX Foundry Live, where we jump deep inside a customer's build and we assemble it from the ground up. Now, I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and of course, joining us live from Wichita, Kansas, it is our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and our master builder, Zach Hillingsworth.
Hello, everybody.
Gentlemen.
The second time.
Hi.
We got Rage in the chat. This is your build, Rage. We knew that this was a customer request, so very awesome.
Yes! Let's go, Rage. All right. So, we've got, lots of fun. Let's dive right into what's going into this, because this is going to be a fun build.
All right. This is
fun build.
A extremely high-end build, all the way spec'd out. Starting out with our processor, we've got the AMD Ryzen 9 9950X 3D. To cool that, we've got our CLX Quench 360 AIO with RGB in black. For our motherboard, we've got the ASRock X870E Nova Wi-Fi. I like the packaging on the Novas. These like purples and blues look good. For our memory, we've got 2 sticks of G-Skill. Each one of those sticks is 48 gigs of DDR5 6400 speed. This is Trident Z5 in black with RGB, so a total of 96 gigabytes of memory. It's a ton of memory. For our storage drives, we've got 2 Samsung 2 terabyte 990 Pro NVMe drives, great drives there. And for our case fans, we've got 12 of our Game DS Aeolus M2 fans in black. The case we will be using is an NV7, obviously. And our video card is an RTX 5090 from MSI. And last but not least, our power supply is an MSI 1250 watt, 80 plus gold, fully modular MAG A1250GL. I guess you get one in that 2 drive.
It was like, nope, gotta go.
Too much awesomeness for this build. All right.
I'm out. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get her started.
So we're gonna go ahead and start getting our side panels off while Zach gets his shovel out and starts digging for that M.2.
Nice. And just verifying everybody's got some sound on them.
Thank you, Zach. Saved.
So Cosworth has a question. Have you guys seen the Baby's 5060 prototype Zotac unveiled at Computex? It has the look of a full-sized card, but could fit in the palm of Paul's hand.
What? No, I haven't seen that. I want to see that. Are the 5060s the cards we've been seeing, Zach, that have the power slot on the other side?
Correct.
We've been seeing some of those 5060s.
And they're also, some of them are like 8 slot instead of 16.
Strange, but I haven't seen one that, like, they look like a regular sized card. The power port's just different, but I haven't seen those that would fit in my hand. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay. Now they're pulling this case together, which of course is an NV7. We love these, but they take a little bit to get taken apart. So yeah, if you got questions, you hear a term that you're not familiar with, please feel free to drop it in the chat. We would love to answer it for you.
Let's see.
Absolutely.
Cosworth said Computex. I got a fancy computer next to me. I'm going to look this up. Small.
Right? Computex is huge. And it's a 5060?
5060. Oh, wow. This is small. This one I'm looking at's a triple fan model. Is that right, Cosworth? It's a tiny triple fan model? That's crazy.
Are they like 80s?
Look at this. I'll pull it up on our monitor. Look at that little guy.
Yeah, dude.
What the?
Oh my God!
Let's go. Let's do this.
That's cool.
What?
Put that on your
That is wild. Look at that.
Done.
I wonder how it works though. Like from a performance standpoint.
Probably performs just like a 5060, I bet.
That's cool.
It's not about the size of the card, DJ.
It's how you use it. I know.
It's about all the tips it comes with.
We're in so much trouble today. All right. One of the cool things about the NV7 is it has a very unique fan system for airflow. As you can see right here, there is that raised back on the bottom where you see that triangular brace as part of the foot. It not only opens up that area for ventilation, but as you can see, it's tilted So what happens is when the glass is put back in place, the bottom fans are going to blow up towards the glass, providing some fresh air for the graphics card, but also cooling down, providing a cooling down on the glass. So the glass can absorb heat faster and absorb more of it, and it causes a circular motion, and it exits the two exhaust fans, which is something that I have never seen another case with. Have you ever seen another case with two exhaust fans?
I have not. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I dig it.
For a high-end build, this case is a great option. Lots of airflow to keep everything cool. Yeah.
Now, we do have a first on this show today, which is super exciting. I love it when we do firsts because I've never seen it. We've never done it on the show for you, but we're excited to do it for you today. We have got the ASRock X870E Nova Wi-Fi. Now, we've never done this board on the stream, but I'll tell you why. This board is about as high-end as it comes to a ridiculous degree. And I love it. Because, I like things that are ridiculous.
Yeah, Nova seems to be like the new naming scheme for the ASRock high-end, the gaming stuff. So they still have their Tai Chis and all that as well, but the Nova's definitely something new. Got a back plate on it, as you can see, and all that.
Nice. Look, Zach. So what Zach's doing is looking for any final pieces of plastic that could be on there. Oh, and he did. He spotted some. So you want to make sure that you do pull the plastic off of your motherboard before you try installing it. Make sure that there we go. Wow, the whole plate. There we go. Nice. Looks good.
So fresh
okay.
And so clean.
Yep. Now, this thing's got some incredible storage space on it, as well as some really incredible heat sinks. But let's first take a look at how much connectivity this thing has, because this is freaking wild. All right. So at the top, we've got our two antennas, obviously, and then our HDMI port with your CMOS and BIOS buttons up top. Now, down below there, this is where it's going to get real tricky. First of all, we have USB ports all over the place. There are 5 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A ports. They're 10 gigs up and down. And then the USB 3.2 12s are Lightning ports. And we'll talk about that in a minute. There's 3 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, and they support Ultra USB power, which is great. 2 USB 2 ports, an RJ45 LAN port, and then your line out and your microphone input down at the bottom. So, yeah. And it says it's an RJ45, but is that looks like a 2.5 gig, or is that a 10 gig?
That's a 5 gig.
5 gig. Okay. So yeah, they didn't put that in the brochure, but yeah, 5 gigs up and down. Hello, welcome to the jungle. Okay, now to make this thing work, this incredible machine, we are going to have to put in a brain. The brain is going to be none other than an AMD Ryzen 9 9950X 3D. There we go. Paul, tell me a little bit about this processor, because it seems like it's really cool.
Yeah, this is a very high-end processor. It's a 16-core, 32-thread. It's got a base speed of 4.3, and it will boost all the way up to 5.7. Going to handle everything you throw at it, that's for sure.
Nice. Nice. All right. Now, obviously, depending on how you're going to decide to cool your device is going to determine what you're going to mount on top of that, because you have to mount something on top of your processor to keep it cool. And what Zach is doing is attaching a bracket to the back. Now, this is going to be for the AIO that the customers wanted.
Correct.
And as you can see, he's in. What are you installing, Zach?
So this is the AMD AM5 specific hardware because we are on an AMD processor, and we have our options would be an AM4 or an AM5. We are on the 5, so we've got it set up that way.
There we go. Zach, also, you're muted for me in the Discord call. So, with regards to the AIO, we'll take a look at that here. There we go. Now, Paul, there's 3 different ways to cool a system. What are they?
Well, with liquid cooling, you've got 2 different ways. You can do a closed loop like what we're doing here, or you can do an open loop. We do offer those as well. Those require a lot more labor, but they come out looking awesome. We custom bend the tubes here. You can go with hard tubing or soft tubing. Most of the time customers go with hard tubing, though. I think they look a little better. You can pick the color of fluid, color of fittings, and just a whole bunch of other customization options. Me, however, though, I like going with the AIOs on my personal rigs. They're super easy to install. As you can see, Zach's already almost done with his. And anytime you have to mess with it, you don't have to drain any of the fluid or anything. And then the other primary way of cooling your processor is with air. So that's typically a block of metal with a fan on it. There's very basic ones to very cool aftermarket high-end ones that perform really well.
Nice. Nice. And for our cooler, they've chosen CLX Quench 360 AIO in black. That little cap right there, it's an RGB cap. It does light up, which is super cool. Now, as far as AIOs go, how does this actually functionally cool the processor?
All right, so that part, there's a cold plate right on here that Zach put on, thermal paste on there, and that's where the pump is also under that logo. So that pump is going to pump fluid up one tube. It's going to go into the radiator, get cooled with the fans that we put on this radiator, flow back through the other tube, just do a whole loop like that, and that's how it stays cool.
Now, something else that is also cool is how Zach hid the wiring. So there's going to be two parts to it, your RGB wire and your power wire for the pump. Now, we watched Zach kind of routing it underneath the processor. Zach, what are some key things to keep in mind when you're routing and running that line underneath the edges of the AIO frame?
Yes, what we don't want to do is pull it too tight, because then what we could do is get our cable on top of our processor, and we just want it set off just hidden underneath there. So just very subtle pull underneath there and you're good to go.
There we go. Okay, up next, we gotta get our zip ties going.
Let me get this, and then I'll do our memory modulars.
Now, I will, Paul, I have one of these, and I don't really know what it does. See in the upper right-hand corner, it's got that little digital, obviously it throws numbers or codes out. What is that? How do you use it, and what's it good for?
So that will display different codes based on what's going on with your motherboard. So when everything's on and running, it should be, it'll have a code show up right there, usually a letter and then a number. It can be two numbers though. There's a bunch that it can use. Sometimes you'll see it cycle through there. As long as everything's running good, it doesn't really matter which codes it's showing, but if it's having an issue or you're not getting video or something's happening, it'll stick to one code, and then you can look that up in the motherboard manual and figure out what's going on. So it's just a guide to help to aid you in troubleshooting. It's very nice to have.
All right, now it shows me here having the memory as two 48 gig G-Skill DDR5 6400 Tridents. That's Z5 black RGB memory. That is wild. First of all, because as of late, we've only been able to go up to 6,000. Now we've got 6,400. What do you mean?
Very, very fast memory right here. This might be the fastest DDR5 that's readily available right now. We see a lot of 5,600 and 6,000, but yeah, it's been we may have done one other build with 6,400 maybe.
And that's 96 gigs total. 96.
That's a lot of memory.
That's wild. Absolutely wild. Now, what else is wild is the amount of storage in here, because we've got two different M.2s. As you can see up there, Zach's already taken off the heat shield for the primary M.2. This plate that he's taking off is also a heat shield for more M.2s. More M.2s, the better. And no, it's not called M.3 if you get more than one. Do you have to take all of them off?
No, I'm just seeing what priority is, if this is like number 5.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's in the way.
You big old head.
I know. Hey, the move. Yeah. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5.
That one's vertical. That's cool.
So we'll do
Nice.
this view.
All right, now he's taking off the plastic. Once again, take off the plastic. But here's a question for you, Zach.
Correct.
I noticed you only took off one on that plate. Is that because you don't have anything else in the other two slots?
Oh yeah, we are only going to peel the peels for the peels that are required. and leave all that nice freshness for when we go over these 4 terabyte 990 Pros.
There we go. And yeah, these are 2 terabyte Samsung 990 Pro NVMe.2s. These are wildly fast. I have one as my operating system drive, and it's fantastic. Paul, what is the difference between an M.2, a solid state, or a hard disk drive?
So an M.2 is part of the solid state family. There's no moving parts in the M.2, or first of the form factor, which we're all seeing these a lot, look like a little stick of gum, versus a hard disk drive. The reason solid states are called solid states because there's no moving parts like the hard disk drive. Hard disk drive has moving platters that spin around and an arm that reads the data off them, so they're very slow in comparison to an M.2. So we always recommend going with an M.2, at least for your operating system, and then if you need extra storage and you want to save money, you can go with a hard disk drive there. Or if you just want to go nuts, you can just get a whole bunch of
Fill
M.2
everything.
drives.
Right? In fact, we have this. We were talking about a different build, and good grief.
Storage. Bing.
And let's see here.
That's clean. Okay, let's do.
Squiggly line in YouTube asks, so who is the winner? I feel like inside we're all winners.
True.
I'm not sure what you're asking, though. Okay. Because we don't have an active giveaway for us right now.
I'm gonna go that way.
All right. Now, we got to be able to cool the radiator. That's got the liquid that's going to be passing through all the little tiny fins, trying to dissipate the heat. To do that, we use fans. On this build, we're going to have 12 Game DS Aeolus M2 120 millimeter black RGB fans. And these are great. I have them. They're incredible light. Both the ring and the blades light up. So my question here is going to be, what side do you want to put them on? How do you want the airflow? And is there another way that you can also attach them?
Mm-hmm. So these radiators have threaded holes on both sides of them. Zach was flipping it around and seeing which way we were going to mount it in the case. So you want to kind of test fit it a little bit, visualize how it's going to go inside this case. We're going to be putting it in the top. So we want these fans to be pushing air through the radiator, and then it's going to go out to the top of the case. 9 times out of 10, that's what you want to do. If you can't put the radiator in the top of your case, you at least want to try to make sure where the tubes go into the radiator, that those are above the pump on the motherboard. That's because there's a small amount of air in there, and we don't want that air going to the pump.
There we go. Now, as far as these pumps go, AIOs are solid. They don't ever have to be maintenance.
Nope. Don't have to do any maintenance on them. I've been using the same one for many, many years.
Alrighty. And Temperance, yes, we are working on that for sure. I wanted to let you know. All right, getting these screwed on in there. So, how's your heat been out there? Because it's been in the upper 90s yesterday and the day before. I think today we're going to hit
upper 90s.
High 80s.
It's a soccer reference for y'all. It's been good. We've been like 80s, so it's warming up, but it's not crazy hot yet, which is nice. I've been enjoying it. We got like an insane amount of rain the last 2 weeks, but I think that's finally over.
Oh, yeah.
The fire department was getting out the boat.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I thought it was like a joke, but they literally got out their boats.
Do some
Wichita
training.
was so flooded. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
We got 3.5 inches in 12 hours, and that was the last of the rain that we got. So the days before that was like 1.5 2 inches of rain, so it was a lot.
Yeah.
Amir85 over on the kick side says, hi, hope all is going well. Is there an ongoing issue with easy anti-cheat with Intel CPU's Arrow Lake Windows 24H2, which causes game crashes and reboots?
I don't think that issue is ongoing still, but I couldn't tell you for sure. I feel like I heard about that one day and then never heard about it again.
I believe there was an update. I could be wrong, but I would definitely check, make sure you've got the latest drivers for your CPU, for your motherboard, and anything else that could possibly need to be updated. And then that would be a question that would probably need to be addressed by Windows, the Windows technical support.
Update.
Yeah. For example, I did last week because my OBS kept crashing, and I remember I hadn't taken a look inside of it when I updated the OBS Studio last. Well, turns out that under the NVIDIA encoder builds, there was two. One is deprecated, which means it's the old one. One's the new one. The minute I switch to the new one, boop, everything works.
Intakes. Like this.
Now,
Correct.
you're putting...
Got it.
There we go. So one of the cool things about this that is also really gigantic is the size of this case. This case is massively tall, and with good reason. But on the back, we've actually got an ability to put 4 different fans blowing into the machine. So with the 3 on the bottom and the 4 on the back, that's a total of 7 fans providing airflow into the case.
Oh yeah.
With the 3 on the top that is exhausting and the 2 on the back, that's 5 total exhausting. So it's a 7-to-5 ratio. What does that mean, Paul?
It means we're going to have a positive pressure inside of our case. Yeah, it means perfection. I like that, Zach.
Right?
So more air coming in than we do leaving is what we're going for. That means we'll have positive pressure inside of our system, and all the air that's coming in will go through the proper ventilations and all that good stuff.
Sling those other 2.
Oh yeah. I know. I'm like, where's my drill?
Right.
Now this is
The elbows.
this is a great shot right here because
Go for it.
this is a great shot right here because you can see there is a significant gap in the back that allows us to not have the motherboard mounted to the back of the frame. Paul, how is that helpful?
So that gives us a lot of space for extra stuff. So like Zach was pointing out there, our power supply is going to go up top. Now in this NV7, there's a ton of room up there, so it can fit a 1600 watt power supply. Pretty much any power supply will fit inside this. And then below that,
freaked me out, man.
yeah,
Yeah, I was like, we're putting a 16 in this? All right,
oh,
cool.
no.
I wasn't prepared for that.
yeah. No, this will be a little bit smaller than that. I don't know. This one might be the same size as like the 850s. We'll see. I've never opened one of these up. Have you?
I don't think
A 1250. We have this model in the 850 watt that we sell a ton of, but I haven't seen this 1250 one yet. So we'll see. But yeah, so the backside of this case gives us a lot of room for cable management. You can see there's cutouts for 2.5-inch drives right there. You can put one on both sides of that. And just a lot of extra room for managing the cables.
Nice. Now, getting the fans on is important. When you're putting a fan on, it's important also to know which way the airflow goes, because you're going to have to make sure. So, explain that to us.
All right, so nowadays we're getting into a lot more of like reverse flow. So it's important to know the angle of the pitch, or the angle of the blades, the pitch of them, will tell you which way the air is going. But most times, if you have a fan grill on there, that's going to be the exhaust side. Call that the ugly side. The other side is the intake. Back in the day, there used to be arrows printed on the side of fans to tell you which way it rotated and which way air flowed. But
Yeah, we can get
That's
some
what I remembered.
sweet
now,
fan grills for them too. Not
Yeah.
anymore.
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Now everything just
Kind of like air
glows.
filters.
Yeah,
I'm like just pulling hairs out of my head.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Temper brings up a good point. What about the reversible ones?
So the reversible ones, the way to tell on those is going to be the angle of these blades. So you can see if you're looking at it like this, imagine the fan grill wasn't here. You can see the angle is different. Now, if they're reverse flows, the grill is going to be on the intake side, so that's another way to remember it. But what we have everybody here getting used to is the pitch of the blade. So this is our D30 reverse flow. So
There it
this
is.
is the exhaust side, and this is the intake side for this Game DS fan. Now these are obviously different fans, but you can see the pitch of the blade is actually different. So that's a good thing. If you're into PC building, get comfortable with
Interesting.
that, because that's going to be how you're going to tell the difference in the future. Because everybody's
Nice.
making reversible flow ones now.
Correct.
It's not just
Which is
a high-end thing.
brilliant.
That's that hype train.
It will look good.
One thing that also looks good is the Fantex Velcro that is mounted into the back of the case. It does help with the cable management. Zach, how do you utilize that when you're putting together a PC?
So I really enjoy using zip ties and Velcro strips. I like to get all of the cables kind of like combined with the zip ties, and then I like placing them where they're supposed to be with the Velcro. And some cases even have like little ribs, like what we have right here, that are like channels to help even guide cables even more. So like if you have a cable that poops out on the bottom side of your thing, it like looks like it's just coming straight out of there compared to like coming out from the top and then curling down. So
nice. Alrighty. You can see also right there that mesh grill that is your airflow filter. Yeah, this is going to move a lot of air, and I believe that it is Rage. Rage, I don't know if you're still here. One thing to keep in mind is if you have this back near a curtain, like a green screen or anything like that, please be aware it's probably going to move enough air to pull that into it. Mine is notorious for that. I have to pin my green screen to the back wall. Otherwise, it just sucks it right on in. So right here, you can see those two exhaust fans, which is really cool because it's not something you see on most, if not all, every other case I've ever seen in my life. So you've got the two on the back, plus the three on the top. That's your 5 exhausts. Oh yeah, Rage, absolutely.
what are we going to be using this for, Rage?
Yeah, good question.
What's our main game or main thing?
Old school RuneScape, come on.
Yeah!
That's what we're hoping for here.
Vanilla Minecraft.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
I'm about to have my first 99 in RuneScape.
Oh,
now.
dang.
I've never been 99 in the skill fire making.
Oh,
Yeah.
rubbing sticks?
Yeah,
Rubbing
yeah,
sticks?
Yep. I'm 97.
God, that's heavy.
You know that 92 is halfway there.
Okay, that was my next question, because like you talk about WoW and how like the halfway point for a level 50 character in WoW is like level 46 or
Yeah,
something,
it's like
46, 47. I'm like,
Yep.
that's crazy.
And OSRS,
That's
it's 92, which feels real bad because
It's
it's
a lot of
feels so
experience.
close.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember on Halo 4, the ranking system, like the way to get up your XP, you had to double what you had before.
Oh man, yeah, that could get out
So
of
if you had to
hand
get
quick.
10,000 XP for level 1, then to get to level 2, you'd have to get 20,000 XP, and then 40,000, and then so on and so forth.
Dang.
Well, so which was very difficult, but we were also playing until dawn, so it got accomplished. Okay, I've got all these in there, and the motherboard is down. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you're going to be installing your own motherboard, and we didn't really get a chance to cover this, but we'll talk about it anyways, you want to make sure that you've got, they look like little nubbins. They're called standoffs, and that is what the motherboard actually mounts into. Why is it important to use a standoff to mount your motherboard, Paul?
So the standoffs separate the motherboard from the actual frame of the chassis, which is obviously metal. So we don't want our motherboard, just the back of the motherboard, sitting on a plate of metal. So that's why those standoffs are important. That way nothing gets shorted out or causes any damage. It's okay if you're missing one if you're building these at home, but having an extra one is not good.
One other nice thing about this case, as you can see, are the black grommets. Those are going to be pass-throughs for the different cables, power, SATA, what have you, fans. And that's one of the brilliant things about how this case is designed and laid out. So Wright says, I'm a variety game live streamer. I play everything. Also video editing and content creation as well. Currently, I have an i9-10900K with a 3090, due for an upgrade. Well, it looks like you're getting that upgrade. Good Lord. That is awesome. Well done.
Very nice.
at the bottom of the screen on the left-hand side, you'll be able to see that the gap, that indentation where the motherboard is sitting, and it's also recessed in there. Why is that, Paul?
That gives us the extra room in the back of the case for power supply, cable management, extra hard drive, stuff like that.
I'm on the outside.
Oh, on the outside?
Yeah, look on the...
That gap.
Yeah, where the IO shield is, it's pulled back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So this
that's where I was going with it.
NV7 has like a whole back door that will cover this up. It's got little fingers that you can run all your cables through coming out of the IO for the motherboard, and it's got those at the bottom as well. So if you need to run them all the way to the bottom, you can. But yeah, when you got it all shut up, it looks really nice.
Yeah, I remember when we first saw this at PAX East a few years ago. It blew my mind away. Absolutely incredible case. It's fun. And I was so jazzed because my case has the hot swappable base. Well, that doesn't help if you've got a hard drive that's older than dirt. That old SCSI IDE. Molex. The OGs. I don't even know if that thing will spin up. Yeah, actually, yeah, Any Temperance has a point. With that upgrade, you could actually go dual stream systems. I'm a dual system streamer. I have my streaming PC down here underneath this left side of my desk, and I've got my gaming PC right behind me. This gives you the autonomy of being able to separate your production, audio, everything else, like stream bots and all that, and allow your gaming PC to just focus on the game. And based on what you have for your old gear, you have a very powerful streaming PC. My streaming PC is an AMD build. It is a Ryzen 5 5600, 3600X, something around there, and I've got 16 gigs of RAM and a 1070 with my AverMedia capture card. That's it. All it takes. Cosmos mentions that I imagine having that 5060 in there would make it look like there's no card in there at all. Yeah, with a case this size, absolutely correct. Good grief. Yeah, that thing looked like a little toy. You know, like hey, I'm going to put this on my... It's just a replica. But if that thing works, I'm so unbelievably impressed right now. So, Zach, walk us through what you're doing and the stages that you go through in order for cable management.
So, for cable management, I like to look at all computers having 3 different groups of cables. We will have our case cables, which is going to be your front panel, your HD audio, your USBs, all that fun stuff. And then beyond that, we've got our fan cables, and the last set of cables is our power cables. I like keeping all of them separate. That just makes it a little bit easier for troubleshooting issues if they ever come up. Just makes it easy to where you don't have to like cut the whole system up if you need to trail a wire. So that's what I like to do.
Nice. Here we go. I'm excited to see how this motherboard lights up. I have a feeling like the Nova is going to be extra. It's going to be very extra when it gets all turned on. And that's the other thing that this case has. It's got some really unique, like, original lighting. It's got LEDs in there. The actual fan box with fan controller that's controlled by the system, correct?
The fan hub will all plug into the motherboard, same with the case. So we'll be able to control everything via whatever ASRock art. Isn't that ARS RGB?
I think it's polychrome.
Or yeah, polychrome. You'd be able to use their RGB to color all of your colors.
Yeah, it's fascinating. When they turn it on, you're going to see what we mean. Necrorezo, hello. How's it going?
Hello,
Good to see you, my dude.
What's happening? Okay, let's
This is a good shot to see what I was talking about when it comes to those bottom 3 fans, how they're angled up. And that's going to, again, give a lot of airflow to the graphics card, but also cool the glass down. Tempered glass is designed to absorb heat, and so the cooler you keep the glass, the more heat it can absorb, and the faster it can absorb it. I do want to do like a smoke test one day, or a fog test
A vape test.
with a
Let's go.
with a case, just so that we can see the actual airflow and how that little vortex works.
We got some vapors here.
I know how to start. Paul knows how to start a fire.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Almost level 99.
There's a huge gap at the top of the motherboard. Actually, there is going to be a piece that fits in right above the motherboard that's going to close that gap up, hide those wires, and it's going to have an LED strip on it that is awesome. Absolutely fun. Okay. As we get that taken care of. For those of you who don't know, my very first foray into streaming was as a Halo shoutcaster. And I shoutcasted for Griffball. It has not been in Halo Infinite for the last 4 years, and they are finally adding it today, so I'm very excited for that. Who else likes Griffball? Or is anybody, who else has heard of Griffball? Let's start with that.
I've heard of Griffball.
Is it like paintball?
Yeah, but with more grip.
Yes. It's a ball in the middle, you got to get it to the goal on the other side and walk it in, but everybody either has hammers or they have swords. It is nightmare. You don't understand it whatsoever. So you've got 4 players on one side of the court, 4 players on the other. The ball spawns in the middle, and you've got to try and get the ball, and then you can pass it, jump over, rocket shoes, whatever, to get it to the other side. The problem is you've got 4 players on the other side coming at you with swords and hammers. So you've got to use your 3, what we call them, tanks, to protect the runner as they come up against 4 tanks trying to get the ball from the runner. It's fun. Vicious Kruznik. Hello. We are building a PC for Rage in North Carolina. Yeah. It's hammer time. Yes, actually. I'm excited to see, because I haven't actually gotten into Infinite in a while, aside from to cast a couple tournaments.
Is it 3 hammers and 1 sword on each team?
No, there's three tanks and 1 runner if you have the ball. If you're in possession, if you're not in possession, then you have 4 tanks. And the tanks, each tank can share whether or not they want. Not share. They can choose whether they want to use a hammer or a sword, and there are different benefits to each of those.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out today. Moose tanks. There we go.
Mustangs.
That is fantastic. Can you imagine if there was a car that was made called a Mustang? Like a Mustang, but better. That's hilarious. Kristen, how you been, man?
Did you guys
right.
watch the Oscar Mayer 500? Whatever it was. The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile 500. It's
What?
pretty good.
No. What do you mean? What is this? What is this madness?
You should look it up. The commentary is great. They stay like on hot dog theme the total time. I think it's like 6 teams.
Oh my God.
And it's all the Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles, and they're at like the racetrack, like the Indianapolis
just going?
500. Yeah, and they go, and they're all talking about just the puns are really good.
Oh my!
Really good.
Dear
They give you the stats,
God.
like the weight and height of the cars and hot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Good stuff.
Let's do that bad boy.
Power supply.
Yeah.
All right, time to talk about power supply. Now, this is how we're going to get energy to the whole thing. I have got to push pause on this because it's just
Shout
the
out.
greatest and craziest thing I've ever seen. So the PSU is going to be an MSI Mag 1250 watt 80 plus gold fully modular. So for those of you who might not know, what does it mean to be 80 plus gold?
So 80 plus gold is an efficiency rating. So this power supply has an 80 plus gold rating, which means it's at least 80% power efficient at 3 different levels, typically like 20, 50, and 100%, but it's going to be throughout all those. So the higher rating you have, the more efficient it's going to be, which is always good. It's not super important for gaming, but if you're doing any like cryptocurrency farming or stuff like that, that's when you see people want like the platinums and the titaniums. I recommend just going with at least a bronze or better.
And the next thing I want to ask about is that little black bag you just pulled out. You said this is the fully modular power supply. What does that mean? And how many different types of power supplies are there?
So that means that none of the cables come pre-soldered in. You can see we've got these ports on our power supply for all of our power cables. That's what fully modular means. You'll get a bag of cables just like this, and we'll plug in what we need, and then we will have some extras. So if the customer ever needs these later down the road when they upgrade, they'll have them in the accessories bag. But not having to use all the cables just gives the system a cleaner, more professional look, makes life easier when building. It's just all around better.
Here we go. This is, at no point did I ever think that they would use Wienermobiles as race cars.
Did you look it up?
That's funny. Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Watch. It's so good.
That is hilarious.
Watch on stream.
I didn't even know there were that many Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles in existence.
Dude, you gotta root
I
for
figured there was just like
Dog.
one.
They're like, we're gonna get out there, we're gonna haul buns. It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, yeah, everybody stays on theme. They talk to like the drivers, and it's good. It's real good.
I don't know what to do with my hand.
Hashim!
They're like, we're gonna hope to relish a victory.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Oh my god.
Wow.
it's good stuff.
And I guess that back car is just gonna have to catch up.
You'd be pretty good there, DJ.
Yeah. DJ, you would be good for that.
We got a foiled holographic motherboard. Foiled.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Secret rare.
Yeah.
That looks awesome. I'm jazzed about to see how that lights up. That is going to be fun.
Okay, and then we need 2 SATAs for the case, 2 SATAs for fans.
Did you want to put them all on one line?
You know what, Paul? We can do all on one.
All
when
right.
we have hard drives, that's when we do need to separate.
Gotcha.
There we go.
There's that.
We found that out.
That.
With the
Yeah.
cable mod kit.
Yeah.
I used all 6. I was like, I don't know if this is going to support the hard drives, and it didn't support, so we had to grab another, which was
Hashim
worth it.
says the guy who ordered this PC is doing the winning. I'm guessing, gal. His name is Rage. He's actually in the chat right now. He's from North Carolina. And this is a banging machine. This is gonna be nuts.
Rage. Don't rage against this machine.
Yeah, and
This machine is all
I'm
the rage.
raging.
I'm still impressed with my 3090 OC, but man, I can't even imagine what a 5090 is gonna be like. That's just wild. Absolutely wild. All right, we're gonna let Zach get started on that. Ooh, one thing to point out that I do like about this power supply is the way that the cables are ribboned. They're very flat.
Oh, yeah.
So,
They are nice.
all right. Jesus. All right, do you want to take a look at that little thing under your arms there, Paul?
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful 59.
This is going to be an MSI NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5090, 32 gigs of VRAM on there, and it's a Ventus. Venitas? Ventus. Yep, Ventus 3.
Yep. It's a Ventus 3X, so that means it's going to have 3 fans.
If we can get it open.
Yeah, I try to open it up backwards for the camera, but you know, we're not that skilled yet. We'll get there.
We're not level 99.
Not
yet.
Not level 99 at box opening. Don't have that skill, Kate.
You know how much experience you'd have, like, just cardboard hands by the
Dude,
time you're level
boxes
99?
would open when I walked up to them.
Oh, dude, that'd be sweet.
No, dude,
Just
yeah.
imagine Christmas. Just
Yeah. Oh, dude, Christmas. Christmas
everything
ready
under the
for
tree.
this. What's up, kids? Watch.
Paper just starts ripping off by
What
itself.
superpower would that be?
No, it's Dad's coming. Hurry. Open all the gifts.
That's coming. Put it all away. All right. So as we put the box away,
So, like a
what we do want to point out is this beautiful graphics card. So, Paul, you've got this in your hand. How does this feel?
This is a heavy card, that is for sure. Now, something to point out, since this is a 5090 and all 5090s are very heavy, we are installing it so we can do the testing, but when we ship this, this will ship uninstalled. So we'll, Rage, if you're not familiar with installing a GPU, we'll be doing that closer to the end of the build, but we'll give you a heads up when we start doing that. Pretty straightforward if you've ever installed a video card. It goes in like everything else. It's just a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But the good thing with this and the power supply you have, you're just going to have one power connection. The new 12 volt high power. It's actually a smaller cable, so it'll be really easy to put in.
Oh, cool. One thing to keep in mind also is that it is the first couple times taking apart your NV7 can be a little tricky. Make sure you consult the user manual for the case that's going to come in your accessories box to make sure that you figure out what comes out first and what comes out second. We've seen some I've seen some confusion before. Okay. Now, while he's over there, I would say breathing deeply as he handles that 5090. I'm just going to stop there. Go back over here to Zach. Now, Zach just got a door open. What's that for?
So this is our CPU / 24 pin cable overflow zone, and it also operates as a 2x SSD staging zone. So we can have two SSDs, one on this side, one on that side. We've got some Velcro strippies and some bars so that we can wrap all of this excess up so it's not in our cable channel. And that's a nice way to just get rid of excess cable that is usually kind of bigger. That 24 pin is a lot of cable.
Oh, over on the green side, Fadiz is back. Hello, how are you? So, am I in time for a potential wrist curl weight? I mean, an NVIDIA graphics card? Yes. Imagine that was your weights. You're just using old graphics cards. I used to do that with vodka bottles. Platy says, I'm tired, but well, how are you? I'm sore. I'll be honest, I've been sore. For the last couple of weeks, I have been completely redoing my bedroom because it was just out of control. And then my housemate laughed when I said I hadn't had a new bed since 2007 or 8. So he got me a new bed, and now I've been enjoying sleeping a lot. It's interesting when you're not having to put blankets or towels underneath where you're sleeping so you don't feel coils in your back or your side.
What did you get? Did you get one of those memory foam space ones? Or?
It's actually like it's a hybrid. It's got springs, but it's also got all these different foams on the top of it and a pillow thing. It's called a Dream Cloud, I think. It's kind of amazing. Kind of amazing. So. It lights up and the back lifts up. It's got an anti-snore mode. I'm just like, okay. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the first time I've actually had a bed that I can fall asleep in on my back.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Sleeping on Dream Clouds now? Yes, Superflex. I did the research, and that was between that and Nectar were the two top mattresses that were reasonably affordable.
Okay, there we go.
Kevin has a Kingsdown. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but those mattresses are wicked.
Let's do you. And then we'll do...
Yeah, we got some of those, I don't know if you've seen that brand, that purple pillow.
Yeah.
Dude, those pillows are the best. We were thinking about getting the whole mattress, but we found a different one that we liked a little bit more. But the pillows, oh my God. They're just like, I don't know, there's this like squishy, this weird material. It's totally different than all the other stuff. But it's good.
Nice. Over on the YouTube side, Daquan Love asks, what would be a good gaming PC for a new person switching from an Xbox? Also, are CLX hoodies for sale by themselves?
So the hoodies are not for sale by themselves at the moment, but maybe in the future that will be available. And if you're coming from a console and you want to get into PC gaming, there's a lot of options you can start with. If you want to just go bare minimum, you can get a basic build with like a Ryzen G processor that has onboard graphics, and that'll get you started in gaming, and then you can upgrade it slowly, add a video card to it in the future. That's a good way to get in on the cheap. Or if you want to start with like a mid-tier, look at spending like $1,000, $1,200. That'll get you something solid that'll play everything great at 1080 today and last for a while. And then the great thing about having a PC is you can just upgrade it later on. So once you get past that initial purchase, it's a lot easier.
One part at a time. Like Johnny Cash got his car.
Nice. Rob King asked, are we making or fixing? We are building it. So, yep, building from the ground up. This is going out to Rage, V-Rage X. Nice. The handy flashlight. Now, one thing to point out, and I don't know if anybody else notices this, but I found out the hard way. The power supply, in the event that you have to trade out your power supply at any time, and this goes for anybody, Paul, can they use the already pre-installed cables?
If you're changing to like the same exact power supply, yes. But even if you're going with the same brand but a different model of modular power supplies, they can be pinned differently. So with modular power supplies, you want to be very careful if you're upgrading. Use the cables that come with the power supply.
Yeah. Yep. I got mine on the very first one. My first PC, I think it was my Corsair power supply died, and I went and got another one and didn't change out the cables. Got that thing screwed in, and then went to go plug things in and realized, well, that doesn't work. Let's see here. But he also says, correct, to add, it also depends on the video card. Oh, the 5080, or if you need that stupid 12 volt or whatever it's called. Yes. And the Quan says, do y'all live stream fixing PCs? I don't know that we do fix PCs. I mean, unless it's coming back from... Paul, you could answer that one.
Yeah, we'll repair our own PCs, but we don't repair, like, if you got it from somewhere else, we don't repair those because it just gets into a really weird thing with the warranties of where you got it and stuff like that. But if it's one of our PCs, yeah, we repair them right here, same building that we build them at. Adam over there in RMA.
Heck yeah.
Adam's pretty cool, dude.
We won't stream it.
Got a huge beard, lead singer of a band. He's a fun guy.
It won't, but we won't be streaming it.
Right, yeah, we won't be streaming that, yeah. Yeah, maybe one day. Adam would be
I'll
good.
see him as a question.
Yeah.
Full on technical. Checking it out. Paul, Hashim wants to know if we're using OEM 5090 power cables or aftermarket ones.
That is a good question, Hashim. So it's going to depend on the power supply. So this power supply that we're using here, what we're looking for is an ATX 3.1 if we want to use the 12 volt high power cable for 5090 and 5080. Since this is a 5090 and it is ATX 3.1 power supply, we will be using the 12 volt high power cable that comes with the power supply. Now if it was ATX 3.0, we would use the adapter for the 12 volt high power, which for a 5090 is typically 4/8 going into the 12 volt high power. So ATX 3.0 is the older model of power supply that has had some issues with that default cable for the 5090 and 5080. I think some 5080s it's okay, but either way, we will only use that if it's a 3.1. So it depends. For this build, since it's a 3.1 power supply, yes, we're going to use the cable that came with the power supply.
Yeah, and Fiddy's makes an interesting comment about some of the weird brands, like the Power Color Red Devil want 3 8-pin cables for the video card. Some PSUs don't have 3 8-pins.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So hopefully if your power supply doesn't have 3 8-pins, it's got a pigtail off of one of those 8s to give you another one. We like to give it its own power cable, even if it's like if it's got 3. So we try to not use those pigtails. But there's some video cards just, they need it.
There we go. Now, as for the weight of the card, we're going to have to deal with this because we're going to need an anti-sag bracket for this thing. So, Paul, what is an anti-sag bracket? Why do we need them, and how do they work?
So an anti-sag bracket gives the card extra support from the other side. So Zach just handed me the one right here. So this is the side of the video card that gets screwed into your case like every card. Well, since this is so big, this side that doesn't have support will start to sag over time, which is why we start using anti-sag brackets. This is the one that comes in the NV7, so we're going to be using that. This can be adjusted height and depth to fit your case, and this screws directly into the case, so this is going to give it support from both sides. Now, since this card is shipping outside of the system, we're going to have this installed with the card, and that way when Rage gets it, this will already be set up for where he needs it at.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm excited. We're excited to see how you set this up, Rage. One thing that would let y'all know, if you've got a CLX PC, we actually have a section in our Discord for your to take pictures and show us your builds. Show us your CLX build. Where's it at? What have you done with it? You know, and that's of course at discord.gg/CLX Gaming.
I see some weird stuff in there. Post your weirdness.
Oh, weird setups. Like what?
Don't clean your desks.
Don't use your optical tray as an ashtray.
I'm sorry, what?
Don't clean up your cable management.
Yeah.
Let's see it all.
No shame. We want to
Oh my God.
see the Cheeto bags and the Mountain Dew cans. That's what my desk looks like on a Sunday afternoon after all weekend. It gets pretty gross.
Yeah, I have a no eating over on my keyboard and mouse rule because they're white.
Yeah.
And yeah. And when that's setting to clean this guy off. Because eventually things just get dirty.
Yep, they sure do. I'm eating a lot of popcorn. That stuff gets everywhere, even when you don't want it.
I used to love popcorn
Not so much
until
anymore.
I shattered a molar.
What?
I bit down on a
Colonel.
kernel, and
Calcium level.
it split the molar in half. It was one of the most painful things I've never figured was going to be that painful.
How did that sound?
It honestly,
Did that reverberate
I could hear it
in your brain, like
Snap.
in
It
your
reverberated
skull?
in my head.
Yeah,
It was
that'd been cool.
the craziest sound. Craziest sound. All right, now this is a good shot, so you can see the combs, the fingers of where you can actually run your cable management up there from anything you connect to your motherboard. They'll fit inside there, and then it'll go all the way down, and there's actually more combs on the bottom for the exit once the door is placed on.
Dude.
Now, Paul, how does that door work when it comes to airflow?
So it is ventilated. I actually got it right here. I can show y'all. So there's two hinges on the back that this mounts to, and then there's no screws. It's just magnetized on there. So this is the back panel. We'll sit on here. I'll swing shut like that. You can see through it. See, air blows through it just fine.
Yeah. It does make it really cool because you can just sit it with his back towards the wall and all sides are visibly appealing.
Just like you, DJ.
Thanks. It's the hair.
Makes all sides equal.
Okay. How we doing?
Oh yeah. Last
A few
cable.
more RGB cable, or last RGB cable.
Last RGB cable.
And then video card.
Yup.
We're on our way to victory.
Yup.
Nice.
Gonna hit.
Okay. So as far as
Okay. And then
as far as the average build time for a PC, how fast can you guys build them?
It obviously depends on the complexity of the system. This is definitely a more complex system. The amount of fans has a big factor. What have we been? We've been doing this for a little over an hour now. If Zach wasn't being distracted by me and DJ in the stream,
No.
Maybe, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour for something like this. And then if we got something a little bit more basic, we can get them done as quickly as like 30 minutes on something.
Oh, yeah.
Super chill. So 30 minutes to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour and a half covers everything.
Tashim said, that is the greatest platonic compliment I've ever heard. I agree. I fully agree. So in the process of sorting through all the stuff in my room, I finally started getting rid of things. I'm now up to 21 bags of clothes that have been donated.
Nice.
Like 10-gallon trash bags. And I still have way too many jackets. But they all have my name on them. I'm like, I can't get rid of them.
It's my Yeti cup.
So I think I'm going to use a
It's my
staple.
Stanley.
I like it.
It's from the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
It still works, though.
Yeah, it does.
It still works.
Cold. I will accept that big boy.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun.
Noise.
Oh, my God. That is a thick baby.
Oh, yeah.
Big baby.
All
That is big baby. And there's a little button switch there that you can pull to take the card out. And this is a 3?
Correct.
3 slaughter.
Yeah. Yep, 3 slot. It's still not the biggest that we've seen.
Yeah, Rage. So this is us installing the card right now. As you saw, Zach, it just slides in there pretty easy. You're going to have 3 screws going into the side. And then when we get the anti-sag bracket on there, it just rests on the anti-sag bracket. So you can unscrew it and just pull it out. Unscrew the card that Zach's putting in right now and then pull it out. Also, definitely call support when you're doing it. If you would like assistance, or let us know. If we're live on the show, we can do it then.
Yes, agreed.
No problem.
Now, this is something we do kind of offer periodically. If we're building it and you're in the chat, do you want them to sign your case? Because they can.
I'll leave a little Easter egg in there too. Okay, let's do there.
Okay. Now this is something cool. I want to talk about this new 12 volt pin.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did this come about? And is this only going to be on higher end, or is this going to eventually become the standard?
So it's definitely on higher end. It's going to be on higher end for a while. I don't know if it's going to become the standard overall. It kind of replaces the 888 model. It obviously replaces the dual 8 as well for the higher end NVIDIA cards. I'm not sure if it's going to be the standard or not yet.
Well, I do think it's going to be cutting down on all those issues with melting connectors.
Mm-hmm. It is nice. I mean, it's great to just have one connection. I love that.
Yeah. Also, to jump back to something that In Need of Temperance had said, and that is about the gap that was at the top of the board. As you can see, that has been covered, and that little white line is actually an LED bar. It's cool. Very, very cool.
Click, clack.
Right. I'm ready for that GTA 6.
Yeah.
If it ever comes out.
It will. Don't worry.
All right.
They have to give the consoles something for the consoles to still be relevant in 2025. That's what you don't understand, DJ, is like the consoles are dying because the PC world is so amazing that everybody's just at a loss. I'm like, do I need to get an Intel or do I need to get an AMD? I don't know. I'm coming from an Xbox or a PlayStation. It's just, get a computer. Whatever you want to play, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have more. Who was it earlier that's changing from Xbox to PC? Welcome to the master race.
Right? Yeah. Yep.
God,
Let's see here. Ashim says, Polymarket says Jesus will be back before GTA 6. Rude. And there we go. That's the perfect shot right there. Oops. We can jump back real fast to that. There, you can see the teeth, all the little combs down at the bottom. for all your cable management. Yep.
That was a nice sound. I like that.
Right? You can also use it as a glockenspiel.
Fantex.
Oh, what?
Glockenspiel.
I don't know what that is.
I know it was a instrument that I played in the 5th grade. I think it's the thing with the little boards of you pound them with hammers.
Sounds like a weapon.
Or else it's the
Xylophone?
one that you. No, that's a xylophone. You're right.
Glockenspiel.
I'm just looking up what a Glock. I didn't know how to spell it. DevTrend says, "Hey guys, I have an Intel i7 9700 with a Z390i motherboard and 8 gigs of RAM. It has a GTX 960. I'd like to upgrade the video card. I'd like to know what is a good video card that I can pair up with the CPU."
You have a GTX 960 right now, is that right?
Yes.
What was the CPU?
An i7 9700.
Okay, that's good. So for GPU, I probably look at like a 5060 would be where I would start out, or the Radeon 9070 XT. That card is sick, and that will pair well with your stuff. So Radeon 9070 XT is my first choice for you, and then 5060 after that. And those are some kind of budget-minded choices. If you want to go with something better, you obviously can. But those would be my 2 recommendations there.
And since we've got Rach here, can we take a pause on the putting back? Can you guys show him, once you get it together, how to take it apart real quick?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So this back panel.
And don't forget, if you want to find out more about getting your stuff, just head on to clxgaming.com. That's where we go. These frames just look smooth.
They do. This is a good looking case.
They are very slick.
Very high end.
Alrighty, so the last thing that you remove is the first thing you install, and that is your back door. I'm gonna angle it for this side camera. That is the back door, and it goes on first.
Let's go to our side shot real quick. There, I'll show the hinges. There we go.
So we
There we
got
go.
our hinges here and here, so we want this on first. Outside of the frame, up top here, is the lid, and the lid goes on top of our back door. So we put our back door on first, and then we slide our lid on. So the reverse order would be popping the lid off first, and then being able to remove our back door. But as soon as you open up the back door, you can pull that front glass out, or our side glass.
This one.
Yeah, so
The front glass can stay in while you're doing that. This panel and then the back panel can all stay on while you're doing this.
yeah, the main order is just the roof and the back door are kind of to get the back door off. You need to get the roof off first. So
Yeah, it can be kind of confusing. I just wanted to make sure you had a quick tutorial on that one. Again, those instructions will also be in the user's guide for the case. That'll be in your paperwork, the documentation that you'll get in your giant sarcophagus. So, and by just sarcophagus, I mean this big box that it gets sent in. And FYI, it is going to take 2 people to carry that upstairs. Oh. Let's see here. Kaizo says, insane build. And DevTrend, absolutely no problem. You're very welcome. That's what we're here for. Brett says, what a beauty. Oh, okay.
Right.
I knew this was going to do this. I can already see the lighting on the motherboard. That looks so cool.
Can hardly see.
Are we ready?
Disappeared.
Boop. Let's do it.
I'm here. I built this.
That's my hope now.
All right, you ready?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. So much bright and awesome. So much wow. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Then there's the fade version. I love the fade on that because it's unique to. There it is. That's not the fade. Yeah, that color wheel is fantastic. I wish I could do that on mine.
Very nice.
But once again, absolutely incredible PC. Well done, guys. Rage. this is going to be going. Actually, that's a good question. Where is this going to be going?
So this is now going to go to our testing and integration department. So that's where we're going to load the operating system, do all of our testing at. The first thing we do is get into the BIOS of the machine, make sure RAM speed's set correctly since you got some really fast RAM in here. Make sure all the storage devices show up. If we were overclocking, that's where we would do that at. And then after that is when we load the operating system. If you picked any games off the website, that's where we load those. And then once everything is loaded, we burn the system in for 12 hours, give it a good stress test, make sure everything is stable for you. All you're gonna get is a clean OS. We're not gonna put any bloatware on this machine. Just gonna get only what you want.
That's fantastic. And Kaizo says, could you please put the RGB on purple? I don't know. There we go. Nice. It just looks fantastic. I love it. So there you go. Congratulations, Rage. That is going to be your PC, and you'll be updated along the process for everything through email. This show, we're going to take a break in just a couple minutes, and when we come back, you're going to get to spend the afternoon with Zach as he builds some more wild builds. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, there it is. Now, this show happens every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 11 a.m. That's 2 Eastern. On Tuesdays, we're here on YouTube, Kick, and TikTok. YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. On Thursdays, we're exclusively on TikTok, so you don't want to miss that. We encourage you to keep up to date with everything that's happening in our social media, and that is YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at CLX Gaming. You can also join our Discord, and that is discord.gg/CLX Gaming, and get in there with a whole bunch of like-minded PC enthusiasts. There we go. That being said, I believe we're at that point. So, on behalf of Jason and Kyle in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Rage.
Don't worry.
Is it too late for love? Is it too late for us? Is it
What is up, Scooby Gang? I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I hope you are ready for a phenomenal week. Jason and Ivory, I'm going to go ahead and get out of Discord. Yep. Ka-chink. Sorry, I have a question. Yes, sir, Hashim, Mr. Hashim. What can I do for you today? How do you load games onto PCs like Red Dead and Cyberpunk? Don't you need unique login for those games to play online? I believe with those you'll have like a Project 2K or something. Like it's like how you have like Steam and you can go to Steam and have all of your games on Steam. But then like for me, when I go and play